Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It is a hot summer day and we thought what is better to do than light a big bonfire. So that's all the tree tops and random brush that we had from cutting down our cedar tree. And we've been clearing out this big area right here for our sawmill. So right now our sawmill is parked at a local business, so we need to get it over to the property and set it up. But first we need to build this big base to hold the sawmill. So that's what we've been working on. We cleared out this area and then we set up some pink string, and that's representing the shed that's going to be covering the sawmill. Right now we need to just figure out exactly where we want to put the base for the sawmill. So we're going to be working on that, and we already went and got some big pieces of lumber for building the base. We got some 6x6 posts and some 4x6 rails. We also just got a brand new auger that goes on our tractor, so we'll be able to dig some holes. So now all we have to do is just start laying it out and get it built. We're starting out with some posts that are going to be going in the ground, and these are 6x6. So we got 8-foot ones, and we're going to cut them all in half, start digging a hole, and then put them all in.
When we drop that in, what we want to do is I'm going to pull this line and see if we got enough room to line these up to the back end of this line.
We just finished digging our first 4 holes, and that was my first time really using a post hole digger. We did have a friend come over here one time and I kind of watched it happen, but that was my first time having my hands on one, and I think it went pretty well. We got all these ones done, and so now this hole is way too big, so we have a lot of space to move it around and get it just right. So now we want to get them all plumb and square with this back line. When we started, we marked it with a Sharpie on each point of exactly where they need to be. So we're going to lock them down in place, backfill it in, and then we'll just cut them all off at the same level.
All right, let's start there because that's pretty straight.
Scoop some in.
Scoop some in on the bottom and get your little stamp. Slow down a little bit. All right. And then carefully take the point end down the side so you don't wedge it out. Don't wedge it out. Control bush. Need some manscape on one here.
You know, I kind of like it when it decides to grow back and pushes our post hole around.
Fine. But you just don't want it all still on one side. Bend it.
I can take a little half. Take it over here.
Can you see this? Center? All right.
It's on fire!
Pack that down a little bit. Nasty stuff.
I like it.
Pretty straight, isn't it?
Sage! Come here, kitten.
Come here. Come here.
Just gotta smell everything on the way.
Hey. I know. You can come over here in the dirt with me and Dana.
right there.
I started to call you and say, why don't you look in there and see if you can find a rock? All right. Huh?
Pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe now it has enough place where it can move around on it. Oh, look at that.
What?
Got the little fossil thing in it.
There you go. So you got, there's another one.
So we probably got about a foot down on this one, and then we hit a rock. It broke a shear pin on the auger. It's a little pin on there where if it hits something too hard, it breaks that instead of breaking something on your tractor. So we did a little digging around and found all these huge rocks that were in the way, so we got those out. And then some of them even have fossils in them, which is pretty cool. So I really like this one. It just has all these cool fossils on it. So kind of cool to find that, but now we got some rocks out, and so we're gonna try to keep on digging. It's a big rock. Hey, your safety glasses working, Dad?
They are. My brain is the most important part, so.
Okay. Get it? Okay, so we wrapped up with all 8 of our posts. They're all plumb and exactly where they need to be. It was definitely tedious getting them to where we wanted them. We had to keep readjusting it and take our time with the dirt and everything, but we got it working. Dad got a little concrete in his eyes, so that was the whole thing, but they're good now. And so we'll still have to cut off the top of all of them so they're where we need them above grade, but right now we're working on these rails that the sawmill is going to sit on. So while I was doing some school yesterday, Dad got this side done. So we have these 4x6, and they have a lap joint going over the beam or the posts. It just gives us this long beam that we'll use to set the sawmill on top. So now we're going to go ahead and start making another one of those, so we'll have it for that side. So we just finished shooting grade using this laser level, and we used 2 strings by each row of post, and we basically set a 0 plane that we're going to use to fill in with gravel, so we'll have a good base starting point. And it's pretty surprising because when you're looking at it, it already looks level with your eyes, but from that side to this side, we drop 8 inches, so that's a lot that we have to fill in. But after we get that, it'll be a nice flat place to start, and then we'll go measure off of that for cutting all these posts. The ground also slopes down here and then continues to slope off, so we're really going to build it up a little bit so the water will hopefully run around it and then continue going down. And it also helps for pulling up logs. It'll make it easier for rolling them up to the sawmill. Okay, so we got all the rails cut, so now we just need to cut our posts. So we spent a lot of time finding the spot. We used a laser level, we used string, just to figure out exactly where we wanted to cut it. And so now we had to figure out how to cut it nice and straight. There's a couple options. You could use a chainsaw, a circular saw, but we decided to try to use a reciprocating saw. So there's a lot of jigs like this that exist on YouTube and you can buy, but Dad was like, we have all this stuff laying around, let's just make something. So this is what we came up with, and it just has a little slot so you can put in the saw like that, and hopefully that'll get us a cut that's nice and level. So we're gonna try that and go ahead and get all of our posts cut. Okay, so it's another day now, but we got the rest of our posts cut, and yesterday Dad came up with our neighbor Richard, and they started getting all the rails mounted. So they started on these ones, and they are just completely solid. So we still have the end ones to finish up, but now we're working on these cross braces. And originally we were gonna do a 4x6 going between these, but it creates this little ledge right here, and we just figured like sawdust and stuff would get stuck on there. So we decided just to do a little bit of an overkill and do the 6x6. And then we already have all these 4x6 cut, so we're gonna add those in between, and it's just gonna be this really rigid thing. And it probably is a little bit over-engineered, but we're gonna be moving tractors around here and dropping logs on here that are thousands of pounds. So the extra structure isn't gonna hurt anything. But in other news, we also picked up our sawmill. So we finally have it right there. So it's just gonna be ready to go. So feels good to see it finally on the land. And so the sawmill that we got is the Woodland Mills HM130Max. And it comes standard being able to cut a 10-foot log, 30 inches in diameter, but we got some extension rails for it that'll extend it out to 26 feet. And then it'll cut a 23-foot log, 30-inch diameter. So we're gonna be able to cut some really big stuff with this. So it's gonna be awesome. So that's why our rail is as big as it is. So we are really close to having this done, so let's go ahead and finish it up. All right, so we are completely finished with our base now. The other day I put on the first coat of stain, and then yesterday while I was taking my final exam, Dad went ahead and finished that, and he got the braces on. So this thing is completely ready to go, and it's really sturdy, so I don't think it's gonna go anywhere for a long time. But over here, he started working on putting together the extension rails for the sawmill. So we have all that, and then the rest come in the box over here. We're gonna go ahead and open up that box and continue putting this together, and hopefully we'll be cutting in no time. All right, Dad's finally getting to unbox his sawmill, so here we go. There we go. Man, we got another metal crate, Dad. You want to put this? What are you doing? Woohoo! Need that. Oh, that's cool.
Can you get this side and I'll get...
Hey, baby. All right, well that is gonna be a wrap for our base. We got that done, we got the track set up on there, And it did take us a while. Never really done anything like this before. It was my first time ever dealing with posts like this size. I think the only other time I've done a post was when I was putting in a mailbox. So this was definitely a challenge, especially with getting them all plumb and level and just lined up exactly where we want it. But I am glad that we took the time to do it right, because this is gonna last us for a really long time. I think it looks cool, rustic, and it's just solid. So we do have a bunch of tasks that we're gonna be juggling around over the next couple months. I do have a goal to get a video out every week now that I'm done with school. And so some of those things are digging a hole for our septic tank and getting that installed because our permit's about to expire. We have to finish up our rough and electrical and get that inspected. We are also doing some things with our Anderson windows, and after all that's done, we'll be able to put up our rock wool insulation, which is going to be really nice because it's been hot outside. And then we want to finish up our sawmill and continue clearing the land. So we have a lot of things that we might throw your way. So thank you for your patience with getting all those out. But we really appreciate your support, because this is kind of what I'm doing full time now. So it's really great to see it all coming together, and we're excited to keep on moving forward with it. So thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.